There is a very specific moment that most men never talk about. It usually happens during an ordinary part of your day. Maybe you are sitting in a cafe, walking down a crowded street, or standing among people at a gathering. Then you notice a younger woman looking directly at you. She is not looking through you or beyond you at someone else. She is looking at you. For a brief second, something inside you awakens. It is a feeling that appears before your mind has time to analyze it. Then your thoughts take over. You tell yourself that you imagined it. You convince yourself that she could not possibly be interested. You dismiss the feeling because you do not want to feel foolish or embarrassed, so you move on. Yet even after the moment passes, something remains with you. That feeling is not vanity, and it is not wishful thinking. It is often your instincts noticing something before your doubts have a chance to silence it. What you felt was real. Now, I am not going to pretend that age does not matter. It does, but not in the way most people believe. Throughout your life, you have been told a story. That story says that because you are older, you are no longer someone a younger woman could genuinely desire. It says you are automatically out of the running, but that story is not based on how human attraction actually works. It is simply a message repeated so often that many people accept it without question. Because of that message, countless men fail to understand something important. The reason a younger woman may continue to be drawn toward an older man goes much deeper than money, achievements, or even confidence. There is a reason she keeps coming back, and before we talk about it, you need to understand something she may not even be able to explain herself. She only knows how she feels when she is around you. The world often reacts strongly to relationships with an age difference. You have seen people make assumptions, ask uncomfortable questions, or offer opinions they were never asked for. Sometimes, those voices become your own. You may hear a voice in your head telling you that this cannot be real, that you're only fooling yourself, or that your interest is somehow connected to your fear of getting older. That voice sounds convincing, so most men believe it, but that voice ignores one very important truth. Attraction is not a mathematical equation. It is not controlled by social rules. It begins in the nervous system. Human beings do not consult a calendar before they feel something. When a woman experiences attraction toward a man, her body is not calculating his age. It is responding to signals. She is sensing whether she feels safe around him. She is noticing whether he is emotionally steady, grounded, and genuine. She is paying attention to whether she can be herself around him or whether she feels pressure to become someone else. Those signals have very little to do with age and everything to do with character. Many men spend years trying to understand attraction through the wrong lens. They compare themselves to standards built around youth, speed, appearance, and competition. If you use that measuring stick, you will always feel as though you are falling short. But that is not necessarily the standard she is using. The qualities you may have worried about, being calmer, moving more deliberately, no longer needing to prove yourself, can actually become your greatest strengths. Those are the qualities some women notice more than anything else. Many people misunderstand what happens when a younger woman feels a genuine connection with an older man. They assume she is settling or sacrificing something important. They believe the age difference is an obstacle she is simply tolerating. They assume the relationship has an expiration date, but that is not always true. For many women, especially those who have grown tired of drama and instability, the qualities that come from life experience become incredibly valuable. The years you have spent learning, growing, succeeding, failing, and recovering are not always barriers. Sometimes they are exactly what attracts her. Life teaches a man how to sit comfortably with himself. It teaches patience. It teaches perspective. It creates a quiet strength that does not depend on attention or approval. There is a solidness that comes from surviving difficult seasons and learning who you are. That solidness is something many women can feel. Deep down, what many women seek is not perfection. They seek stability. They seek peace. They seek someone who is comfortable in his own skin. Imagine a younger man entering a room. He may be energetic, entertaining, and eager to impress. There is nothing wrong with that. But there is another type of man. He enters quietly. He does not need to dominate the conversation. He laughs naturally. He is not constantly checking whether people approve of him. His presence feels grounded. Many women notice that difference immediately. They may not even understand why, but they do. and often, for the first time in a long while, they feel able to relax. Attraction is not only about appearance. While looks matter to some extent, what often matters more is how a person feels when they are around you. She notices the way you speak. Is your voice calm? Do you seem comfortable, or do you appear anxious and rushed? She notices whether you are genuinely communicating or simply performing. She notices how you handle silence. A man who fears silence often fills every gap with unnecessary words because he believes he must constantly entertain. A man who is comfortable with himself allows conversation to breathe. She notices whether you truly see her as a person or whether you are focused only on making an impression. Authenticity creates comfort. Performance creates tension. When a man constantly changes himself to gain approval, people sense it. It becomes difficult to trust. But when a man is simply himself, others relax around him. They stop wondering whether he is pretending. They stop searching for hidden motives. That sense of ease creates the foundation for genuine connection. Older men often possess another quality they rarely recognize as valuable: the ability to be comfortable with silence. Many people rush to fill every quiet moment. But when a woman pauses, observes, or simply enjoys the moment, the way you respond tells her a great deal. If you panic and scramble to keep the conversation alive, it reveals discomfort. But if you remain present and relaxed, you communicate confidence without saying a word. You show her that you are comfortable with yourself. Silence becomes a bridge instead of a barrier. This is not a trick that can be learned overnight. It develops naturally through experience, self-awareness, and growth. It comes from reaching a place where your worth no longer depends on constant validation. Many younger women who are attracted to older men are not being naive. Often, they have learned difficult lessons. They have experienced relationships that looked ideal from the outside but felt exhausting on the inside. They have experienced inconsistency, emotional turbulence, and relationships where they constantly felt responsible for managing someone else's emotions. They know what that feels like. When they encounter a man who is emotionally stable, who can disagree without becoming hostile, who does not need to win every argument, and who remains calm under pressure, they feel relief. They feel safe. If you can listen without becoming defensive, if you can respect her perspective without needing to control it, she notices. She may describe it in simple terms by saying, "He makes me feel comfortable," or "I can be myself around him." What she is really describing is emotional safety. She is not looking for a father figure. She is not trying to solve old emotional wounds. She is recognizing a quality she values and responding to it. More than your appearance, your success, or your possessions, she is watching to see whether you allow her to be fully herself. Many women feel pressure in relationships to hide parts of who they are. They learn to be quieter, easier, or smaller to avoid conflict. But a man who is secure within himself does not create that pressure. He listens. He remains grounded. He makes space for her thoughts, emotions, and individuality. That freedom is incredibly attractive. At the deepest level, this has never really been about age. The real question she is asking is simple. Do I feel more like myself when I am around this man? She is not asking whether she feels more admired or more desired. She is asking whether she feels more alive, more understood, and more free to be herself. The years you have lived may have given you the ability to create that experience for someone else. That ability is rare. When she is with you, she feels less pressure to explain herself. She laughs more naturally. She relaxes. She feels accepted. The age difference becomes secondary because what she is responding to is the sense of safety, space, and strength you bring into her life. Those qualities do not have an age. They are simply uncommon and valuable. So perhaps the question was never whether you are too old. Perhaps the better question is whether your presence helps another person feel more free to be themselves. If the answer is yes, then your age is not a weakness. It is part of the gift. The right woman does not merely accept the years you have lived. She appreciates what those years have shaped you into. You do not need to prove it with grand gestures or expensive gifts. You simply need to be the man those experiences have created. Stop apologizing for your age. Those years built your character. They built your wisdom. They built your strength. You are not a lesser version of a younger man. You are the result of everything you have survived, learned, and become. And when you stop measuring yourself by standards that were never meant for you, you may finally realize something important. She was never focused on the number of years between you. She was focused on the quality of the man standing in front of her.